Welcome to the 1000 Comics Podcast. How you doing, folks? What's up there? It's been a little while since my last episode. I'm your host, Matt Heath. I've been talking a little while about this job I got at a comedy club, not doing comedy, working in the kitchen, working the door at a comedy club, the Funny Bone. Um, I've actually haven't been there in a little bit because I got suspended from work. And I got suspended for, I guess this is probably one of the best reasons you can get suspended. I was working in the kitchen. After the kitchen closed, I went out and watched some of the show. Technically, you're not supposed to do that. Sometimes I get away with it. This time, not so much. The manager said, "Hey, quit watching the show." Said I'm done. The kitchen's closed. It was Christopher Titus. Christopher Titus was there. He's an amazing comedian. I had to watch some of his set. You know what I mean? Anyways, um, the manager told me she was going to write me up if I didn't stop watching the show. I said, go ahead and do it. I got a 2-week suspension. I was talking to Christopher Titus after the show for a little while. I wanted to meet him. I loved his TV show back in the day. We took a picture together, and he was like, he was joking around. I said, "Oh, let's pretend we're angry in this photo." And I was like, "I am angry. I just got suspended." So there's a picture of us like pretending to look angry, and then there's a picture of him cracking up for me saying that I really am angry. We got suspended. It's a nice little couple photos there. What else is new in comedy? I'm running my own show at Nomads Comedy Club in South Windsor, Connecticut, on the first Tuesday in January. So if you're in the area, please come out for that. I got a great guest on the show today, Karina Fort. Oh my God, she actually just left earlier. I decided to record the monologue right after. I don't usually record the monologue in the same day, but I'm so excited to get this podcast out there because we just had an amazing conversation. Um, we talk a little bit about everything. We talk about the school systems. We talk about race. Talk about sexuality. Um, there's no lines when it comes to me and Karina having a conversation, just because she's so real. She's a very real comic, and that's what I like. Who I like to have on the show is real comics. You know what I mean? We were talking about a racial moment that happened over at Dunkin' Donuts earlier, and I feel like as far as Dunkin' Donuts goes, is there's actually less tension in a place like that. The reason there's the a place like Starbucks, they have to go through all that like retraining and everything. When something happens, you know, I think it starts with the way we communicate there. It's like you have to with Starbucks. They put the name on the cup of coffee. The baristas got to make you feel special and everything. Screw it. Dunkin' Donuts is the way to go. You get your coffee, you leave. You know? And I usually order French vanilla, and I notice every time I get French vanilla, they write FU on the cup. They don't have to write my name, they just write FU. Instead of the FV for vanilla, they write FU. And you know what? That employee gets to release a little bit of their aggression throughout the day, and that way they don't freak out on a person that is a different sex or race than them, and they have to go through a whole retraining process. That's why Dunkin' Donuts is the way to go. Starbucks sucks. Stop going to Starbucks. There's no point. All that renaming of the garbage. Dunkin' Donuts just tries to make things easier constantly. They're taking Donuts out of the name. Dunkin' Donuts. It's just going to be Dunkin'. I actually don't know how I feel about that. I feel like Donald Trump might have had something to do with that. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound American enough. Let's take away the donuts from the Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin', we already know what we're dunking, you know? We already know what we're dunking in the coffee. We don't need to mention the donuts. In fact, I dunk all sorts of things. Bear claws, crawlers. I've even dunked a McDonald's cheeseburger or two in a Dunkin' Donuts coffee. So let's just call it Dunkin'. In fact, speaking of McDonald's, let's take away the M and the C. The Mick doesn't sound American enough. Just call it Donald's. I know that's my name, but that has a nice ring to it. Donald's. Anyways, we got a great show for you today. Karina Fort's on the show. Before we get started, I just wanted to say please subscribe. Please subscribe to the podcast. The 1,000 Comics podcast is looking for sponsors still. If you'd like to sponsor the show, please send an email out to matthewheath.saga@gmail.com. That's MATTHEWHEATH.SAGA@gmail.com. Until then, I'll be pretty much sponsoring myself. So, listen to my comedy album, Class Clown Revisited, which is also located here on this YouTube page. Also, if you go to Amazon.com, you type in Matt Heath in the search bar at Amazon.com, all three of my plays will pop up. So you have Renaissance Men, Pawnbrokers, and Scared Out of the Dickens. Scared Out of the Dickens might be the one you want to buy now. It's a parody of A Christmas Carol. It's Christmas time. Christmas is coming as November, past Thanksgiving. Now it's time to buy. I put all three of my plays on the sale. All three of them are less than $4. So for Christmas, just buy them all at cost. I'm not even making any money. You're paying for the printing. Buy my book. Anyways, here's my interview with Karina Fort. Hey, hold on. Okay, we're recording now, so now you can compliment me.
I couldn't believe you was back in town. I was just like, yo, that's dope. How's he doing, yo? I can't wait to see him. And then you had on your little blazer.
Yeah, I was actually looking really forward to seeing you too when Moose told me you were going to be on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Because me and Karina, for you out there in podcast land, we did a show at a VFW hall.
Yeah, remember that?
And it was fun. But how long have we known each other?
Now it's probably been about what? Has that been about 4 or 5?
It's probably been like 5 years, right?
At least 5 years.
Because I left for Florida 2 years ago, and I stopped doing comedy for a little bit, like a year before that.
Oh, man.
So I think we had known each other for like at least 2 years. So it's like, it's been like 5 years. That's crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
How time flies.
That's when Joker's was open.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember mentioning to you the last time I saw you, like that time that we all me and the girl I was dating at the time, and you and Moose, and we had I remember we had a great dinner there.
Yeah, that was dope.
We were just BSing.
Yeah.
You know, my girlfriend, my present girlfriend, is a big fan of yours now.
Is she really?
Yes. I'll know if she likes the comedian that's going to be on the podcast based on how much she goes into this frantic mode of cleaning before the comedian gets here. It's nothing against like somebody like Vinny Beetle, but if like Vinny Beetle was coming over, for instance, it's like, all right.
You gotta have that outside.
But it's like, oh, Karina's coming over. It's like,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I admire her too. I think she's cool. She got a good energy about her, and I like the look of you guys. Cool.
You do?
Yeah, it's a good little feel.
What do you mean you like the look of us?
I mean, I feel like I always felt like you wanted some chocolate in you. I'm just saying.
Yeah?
I felt like he was a chocolate man. You know, caramel chocolate in that arena. You know, because you're like you're a different kind of guy than most guys. You know
But
what I'm saying?
I was dating a white girl when you met me.
Yeah,
But
but
you just saw it in me. You just.
I just seen. I was like, yeah, he's looking for a booty. He looked like he's looking for a booty.
Oh my god. Um.
Man, where do you go from there after looking for?
Yeah.
The booty,
What about you? With the relationships? I don't even think I've seen, like, who do you?
I don't know. That's kind of complicated. You know, it's weird, right? All the relationships I've been in, the woman actually chose me.
Right.
Yeah, I never chose them, and that's probably why it didn't last, because they chose me. You know, I didn't get to choose them. So I said this year I'm gonna try and go and choose them. I know you wouldn't think that I was like nervous when it came to stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
So you're the one that Okay, because
more aggressive, maybe looking, because I'm a tomboy or something. So like you'll never see me in a skirt and some stilettos and stuff like that. That's never gonna happen.
But that's the more feminine. Like, you would
Woman.
think that it's the more feminine trait of being the one that is the one that goes after, rather than the one that gets called on. You
It's
know what I
true.
mean?
It's true, because it's feel like you see a woman that you like, right? And you're like, man, she's fly. I want to talk to her, but you're like, nah. But then after she comes up to you, then it's cool. It's okay, right? But in this world, we don't even know. Like, some of the girls are so undercover, right? It's like if you go up and talk to them, it's like, I'm not like that. And then later on, when their friends not around, hey, nah, you just said you wasn't like that. What happened? What? Oh, you want to know? I don't, I'm not trying to be nobody's secret,
right.
man. You don't want to be nobody's secret. Back in the day, it might have been cute, but now,
You see, I don't know. It's like the older you get, it's like I think the lines of sexuality become so much broader.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
I feel like it's like when you're in high school, it's like I think the kids that are stereotypically gay are the ones that are the ones that come out of the closet first.
Yeah.
And it's like you get a little bit older, and it's like the more people that come out of the closet, I never even would have expected that. You know what I mean? I feel like, because it's like I don't know. Maybe do you think it takes, like, certain people? It's not the fact that, like, that they people that come out of the closet have been keeping a secret for so long, but it's also they've been, like, lying to themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's true. I think people are lying to themselves more. Like me, I don't believe in the closet thing. I think it's stupid. To me,
Okay.
I don't believe in labels either. I'm just a woman that loves women. Don't call me anything else. I'm already woman, and I'm already black. That's enough for me. I don't need to be called this, that, and the other. I'm an aunt.
So you don't like the label lesbian?
I don't do the rainbow flag. None of that stuff. Yo, we got one flag. We human. We're American citizens. That's what we rock with, and that's how I go. I don't, because you figure like this. You straight? Did you have to come out and say, "Hey, I'm heterosexual"? You know what I'm saying? Right? No. So why do we? I don't believe. I never come out the closet. What I just started doing is bringing, girls that I was dating over my mother's house, and that was it. I never said I'm in no closet, out the closet, whatever. I think that's crazy, but I think you'll see now, because a lot of people are crazy. It's crazy, like their family, they're like in their 30s and 40s, right? And some in their 50s. And they feel like, you know what, I'm just going to be me, and that's it. And the real me is, I like the same sex. You know what I'm saying? But, you kind of go with what everybody else, the society says, and your family be like, oh my God, you too old to be gay. I'm like, damn, did it have like an age on it?
Oh, so at what age were you when you started dating women?
I was 26 when I said I don't give a shit about what nobody thinks. I
Really?
dated guys. Yeah, I dated guys. Man, I got proposed to at least 4 times, man.
Right.
And I felt bad because I have brothers, no sisters. And I said, damn, this dude putting all his effort and time into me, and he could be doing it with somebody else he's barely going to have a chance with. And that's when I said, I can't do that, because now I'm hurting other people. You know what I'm saying? It's different with me. And then I was like, yo, this is me. This is it. That's it. You should have seen. It was crazy, because I'm so popular in my town that everybody was talking about it. And the people that were talking about it was the same ones that wanted to holler at me later on. I said, oh,
wow.
You too, girl.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was just crazy. But the problem really is that the people are not too old. It's just that they always been that way, but they've always tried to please their family and other people. Like you said, lying to themselves. You know, and me, I'm just me, man. Everybody is just everybody, and that's it. Love is love, no matter how you put it. You know what I'm saying? Like I love you. You know, you my dude. You know what I mean? And that's just how it is. But people make such a big deal out of things. Let's stop breaking ourselves down. We already got too many classifications, right? As class and your money. You know what I'm saying? Then your job. You know what I'm saying? Then your ethnicity. You know, then your gender. It's like, holy shit! How many times we gonna keep getting broken down?
You're right, because if you like, okay, you put that label on yourself, then it's like, oh, this is. I never said I was going to be this way for the rest of my life. You know, it's like one day I felt this way and now I feel this way. So who's to say? And a couple years from now,
I think ladies could do.
But that's why I always like the term, like, other than like in the closet, is batting for the other team.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, yeah, because
I call them switch hitters. Switch hitters. I don't do switch hitters. We cool, but I don't want to do switch hitters because Do
you feel that you'd sway women off of the other team, like into your team?
You know what's crazy? This last show I did.
Not even the team of because let's forget about the label of lesbians.
Yeah.
You just get them onto Karina's team.
That's
like
it.
you're the like
just like me as a person, and we can talk about the other stuff later on. Am I right?
Right? Yeah.
Just like me as a person, and then we can talk about everything else. And it's crazy. Some of the ladies be like, "Yo, I've never ever slept with a woman, but you can get it." And I was like, "Whoa, hey, slow down, Nelly.
Really?
Just because you like me don't mean I like you." It's not that easy. You know what I'm saying? We're all selective about who we bring into our own little personal space right there. You know what I mean? I can't, just because it's everybody out there. I don't care how many people like me. That's cool. Hey, how you doing? Hey, we can have some coffee. But I've never had one disease in my life, and I'm not trying to get it today because I promise you, Heath, if somebody gives me something, I'm sleeping with their whole family. Everybody's getting it. Okay, whatever I got, we're sharing it. Grandma, grandpa, your uncle.
No matter what it is, even if it's something that's not that serious, like
gonorrhea.
Something that can clear up in like a week. You're gonna go sleep with their grandmother. So.
It's a family
for revenge.
Baby. I would do it just because, and they would think about it like, oh my gosh, she gave my grandmother gonorrhea. No, you gave me gonorrhea. You gave your grandmother gonorrhea. We gave her to her together.
Well, I'm thankful I've never had gonorrhea, but supposedly it's one of the more painful ones.
Man, I've never had anything, man. No.
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing. I've never even had a yeast infection. I know, and that's like common. That's just regular stuff for ladies.
That's a regular. But I don't really even know what a yeast infection is. To be honest with you, like, because I've dated women thankfully not the woman I'm dating now.
Yeah.
But I've dated women where they'll be like, yeah, you have I can't like have sex because I have a yeast infection, and then I'll be like, it just sounds nasty, gross. Right? It's like well. I think they purposely named it that so men would go, ugh. Like, it's like I'm not even gonna ask what that is. You know what I mean?
She growing a tree or what? Is that like a porcupine or something? That's nasty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a simple thing, but a lot of times women get it like when they're pregnant and stuff like that because so many hormones, or when you're menopausal, sometimes you get it. And I think, like sometimes after you have like a cold or something, they give you the antibiotics.
Right.
It seems like it kind of dries out. It dries out a part of a woman.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what it is. It's kind of like a drying out, and it becomes a little irritated. And, it comes back to life after a couple of days. So,
I think the thing that puts me off about it, it's like I won't even ask what it is because it's like, could I like take like a toothbrush and get like part of it off and then bake it in the oven? Is that what that is? Is it really?
I think
yeast.
They do have a discharge, as we would call it. I know it doesn't sound attractive, right? So yeah, as soon as she says the yeast infection, just say okay. Just say okay and just let it be like what it is. You know what I mean? She says that, but yeah.
A discharge.
Yeah. As soon as they say discharge, you're like, oh, secretion of some sort.
You know what? Me and my girlfriend were listening to that song on the radio the other day by Marvin Gaye. The most popular one. Let's Get It On.
Ooh.
And you know what? I realized something listening to that song. I knew because she was singing along to it. And I've heard this song maybe a million times. Everybody's heard the song a million times. When he says, "Let your love come down on me."
Yes.
He's talking about female ejaculation.
Yes.
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 He is. And you know what? Nobody talks about female ejaculation in a song. And he's the first one to do it, and he does it in such a beautiful way.
And think about it, that was back in the 70s.
Yeah.
That's amazing, right? That's just like for the longest. How many times you go to what do you call it? Weddings and all of that, and everybody's doing the electric slide.
Right.
And now you just find out it's about a dildo, a vibrator.
What?
Hell yeah.
What? Wait, hold on. The electric slide is about a vibrator.
Yep.
Really? I had no idea.
Electric slide.
It was just recently that I found out what a Steely Dan, like the band Steely Dan.
Yeah.
Steely Dan is a dildo.
No.
Yes. So no, but the reason I found this out is actually the craziest thing. I was doing a parent, like, you know, this parent teacher nights, because I was teaching high school English for a couple of years.
Wow.
We were doing one of those open houses, and I was playing different Pandora stations. I put on Steely Dan. I was like, you know what? Parents love Steely Dan. And I'm not knowing what a Steely Dan was at the time.
They was looking at you like you were crazy?
Yeah, no, nobody showed up.
Oh.
But then I told my uncle later on that, I was like, yeah, I played Steely Dan like during an open house because we were listening to Steely Dan. I mentioned it. He goes, do you even know what a Steely Dan is? And I'm like, no, I didn't realize it was the name of a band.
Yeah. Now the electric slide will never be the same, yo.
Yeah.
Right, when you hear the electric slide, you're like, what? The Electrics, and there's a guy singing this.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute, you know? But yeah, that's crazy, man, when you think about those things.
It definitely makes it seem like, I don't know, now I'm going to hear the electric slide, I'm going to be bitter about how, like, male masturbation has not left, the hand while women have, like, this futuristic...
For real, right?
thing to use. You know what I mean?
It's true, but you know what too? The guys actually are the ones, because they're the ones that actually come up with these toys. You think it's the women, but it's men that actually make these things, which is wild, right?
Yeah.
Because most of the times they'll get their boy who's like over endowed to get like a molding.
Right.
And then they'll sell it, like the Latin King thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're like 9 inches or something, you know what I mean? And it's like a mold of, what do you call it? That rubber base.
Yeah, that's why they got like the veins in them and everything.
Yeah, yeah, because it's just like just imagine that's one of your boys. Like, wait a minute, that's my boy. What is he doing in your drawer? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type of thing. But yeah, the guys that have come up with those things mostly. Well, women are starting to get into it a little more, but mostly the first dildo and all of that was made by a man.
Was it made by a man for a woman though?
Yeah, I think a lot of some of the guys that actually they said that this is what I heard. The gentleman who actually created it,
the first still.
Yeah, he was short.
Okay.
So he felt like if he could have something, what he would want it to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it was. That's what I heard. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I heard. It had like a little motor and everything. And that right there could probably kill you, but I'm just saying.
I mean, that kind of paints it in a different picture for me now, though, because it's like, It's like I shouldn't be like because when I think of the female toys, I usually think it's like it's us versus them, us versus the machines.
Yeah, no.
But if men were the ones that created, it's like no, these are our aids. These are what we use
what if you only
to
got,
help us.
You only got 2 minutes in you. You're like, go on, girl, stick it to the wall, and you can take a nap, and then wake up, and then you're ready again, and then she's ready. You know what I'm saying? So it's there to help you. Think of them as your friend.
All right. Since we're already talking about this, I might as well say something real personal now. My girlfriend gets upset if I come and she doesn't.
Right.
Like it's like her
it's a thing.
biggest thing with us. But to me, I'm like, it's not that hard to get me going again. Yeah, instead of like sitting there getting mad like that you didn't.
See, that's why foreplay comes into play first. See, fellas got to know. You got to know your ability. If you're a 2-minute man, give her the tongue first. Then give her your boy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's because by the time when you come, she'll come again. You know what I'm saying? Because a woman could be multiple. Bing, 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 bing. Most dudes is like,
Don't worry. After the podcast, you can come up to me up to my bedroom with me, and you can, and she'll be up there, and you can give us a few pointers.
You're like, hey, come on, Karina, come on. Well, this is what happens. She would be mortified. Oh my God! I like Karina as a comedian, but I don't want her in her bedroom.
That would be a great comedy sketch, though. You'd be like some kind of sexual coach.
Yeah, coming in there. Hey,
you have the same hat and sweatshirt on that you're wearing now, and like a whistle.
Yeah.
Hey, what's with the whistle?
You'd be like, hey, come on now. Heath, put your back into it, man. Come on.
Oh, you'd be talking like the guy from Rocky.
Mm-hmm. Oh, come on. You can do it.
Hey, if it's getting hot in here, I could unplug one of these
no,
heaters.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I'm good, going through pre-menopausal.
Yeah. You mentioned that a lot. You mentioned that in your act, right?
Yeah. Because, it helps me to get through this thing. It's way more difficult than I thought it was.
Do you think talking about it all the time helps?
It does.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it reminds me that, hey, shit, you're 51, Karina. Shit is, things are going to change. And, this is something that all women must go through. So
right.
You have to go through it. Might as well make light of it for other women that are going. So when I talk about it with other women, they're so excited because they're like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? They're like, shit, I ain't the only one.
Yeah.
Even though they don't know that, all women go through it at some point in their lives. So, yeah.
Do you try to spin it into like it's like a beautiful experience, that kind of thing?
Sometimes I said, oh, it's nice when I go out in the winter. I just going out there. I got a t-shirt. I got running gear on, man. And they were like, man, your cheeks are all rosy, like I'm red or whatever like that because it's all hot. I'm like, yeah, man. They're like, man, it's like a little puff of steam going around. That's all right.
You know what? I was thinking. I was watching an old episode of Taxi one day, and it was the Latka's wife was going through menopause. It was like what? But I was thinking about like how like every sitcom that has a woman of that age, there's an episode about menopause. It's like you'll see every sitcom it feels like has at least one episode about menopause,
right?
You know what I mean? Where as opposed to like, so it's like today it's like menopause is like embedded in the culture, like people know about it. Where I feel like maybe like 20, 30 years ago, and I feel like it's like it hasn't even been that long. Yeah. Where it's like people didn't talk about it back in the day. Where it's like women would have to go through this, and a lot of them, it's almost like a second puberty. Like they're going through this, and they don't even realize what's happening to them. Man, you know what I mean?
It's true because I have a friend right now that's going through it because I actually had it early on because I had a hysterectomy.
Yeah.
So she had one too, and so now that she had a hysterectomy, she's starting to feel. The first things is you become overly emotional about stupid shit. Like say if your nail was painted red and all the rest of them were black, you're like, my nail painted red. You're crying over stupid stuff. And right. Like, what the? You don't even understand. understand what's happening to you, and you're trying to put it all together. So at times you may not even want to go out because people think you're crazy, but it's not. It's just you're going through so many different emotions.
Everything makes you cry.
Everything makes you cry or makes you sad. Just like when guys start to lose their hair or whatever, how emotional they're spraying on their hair.
It's funny because it's like bald dudes. I feel like there's I don't know. There's certain amount of like confidence like bald dudes have. And then it's like, but if you say one word about their baldness, it's just like they come apart. You know what I mean?
And then, for security purposes, which is so ugly, right?
Right.
They just keep the hair around the base of the skull. And it's like, why? All of this is gone.
The George Costanza look.
Yeah. It's
not even that, though. I think that's okay when you got the kind of like the wrap around the hair around the head, but it's short. But the dudes that have it then have it like long, like in the back. Long, you know what I mean?
You know they got some either. See, black people will say it's a shag. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all puffy and hanging out. But that is what we, white people would call a mullet.
Right.
So a shag and a mullet, same thing. People are like, why the hell he got a mullet? What the hell's the rest of his hair?
But why do you think it is that black dudes just like I feel like with no hair can pull off having a shaved head better than white guys can?
I think because one, I think because of the color of the head. It's not as bright. When you see the white head, you like, damn,
it's so pasty.
Yeah. I think that's one, but two, I think Michael Jordan, once he knew he was losing his hair and he cut off his hair, he made it cool.
What? You're right about that. Yeah. It's like Michael Jordan, I think, is like the only human being that's like you see him in silhouette, and it's like. Okay. You see him in silhouette everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because his head matches
the
like
bald
his face.
Head, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like lumps or nothing like somebody punches him in the back of the head or something like that. It's like a nice round head, and it works for him.
See, I've always had a thick head of hair, but now you've given me something to think about. If I ever start going bald, I'm just gonna completely shave my head, but always wear like a Michael Jordan T-shirt. A Michael Jordan jersey. At least be wearing Jordans.
Oh, man. All the guys that are going bald, man, they trying to keep pieces of it and everything like that. I'm saying like the little curl in the front.
Right.
How much you gonna paste that down and switch it to the side or whatever? But now check this out. They got a thing they call lace fronts for guys.
Yeah.
So now you can get braids, whatever you want, a high top fade or whatever, if your hair just grows on the side. I'm like, that's just too much. You seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it all.
Yo, that is hilarious because it's like, if I'm a dude, I'm just gonna let it grow, just let it fall out. And me too, though. If my hair was starting to fall out, I'm just gonna wear it low. I'm not gonna wear a wig, none of that stuff, because I feel like this. This is me personally. I feel like if you are ugly, you are ugly.
Right.
Ain't no amount of hair, no hairstyle gonna make you cute. They're gonna say your hairstyle is cute, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? But if you're cute, you're cute. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel.
But I think you're all for having natural hair, anyways. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen you do anything fake, right?
No, never.
You're all about being real, right?
Yeah. Always.
Have you always been that way, or did you ever go through like a phase in high school, anything like that?
Well, my hair was past my shoulders. It was always very long.
Yeah.
And then I got to high school, and they came out with these dope little young cuts, and then you see like salt and pepper with the hair hanging to the side and this shape. I'm like, yo. So I'm all in. And then after a while, I got to just keep my hair short because it was easier to do because I always had a quote unquote guy's job. Like a mechanic and stuff like that. I actually have a degree in engineering. So I've always had some sort of manly job, I guess. You know what I mean? So a lot of times I would have to wear a hard hat or whatever, you know what I mean? And I didn't have time to be having all of that on my head, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All of that hair. I don't got time for that. And then you're sweating and all of this is just too much. It's easier when it was shorter. And then in like 2005, I just And then
when you just pause for a second there. You just when you say like, "Oh, I had a man," that doesn't like make me think any less of you. All that makes me think is like, "Oh, she had more money than I did when I was at that age."
Well, I'm saying, how society cuts it in. It's a man's job. It's anybody's job who could do it. You know what I'm saying? But back then it was like I was taking a job from guys who were trying to feed their family. I was like, well, what about a woman trying to feed hers?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, I've always, I've always really been fortunate with that, having really good jobs.
Yeah.
But I like what I do. I like putting things together. Those are things and like figuring things out.
Is that what you do now? Are you a mechanic?
No, what I used to do, I retired 4 years ago.
Right.
I used to be a mechanical engineer.
Really?
Yeah, and so I retired off of that. And so for 4 years, I was really just trying to figure out what I was going to do after engineering.
Right.
And I got to end I vested in stocks and stuff, so I, lived off the residuals of that, and then a little bit of comedy money, but mostly the residuals of that. And recently, I just started taking up a little job because I wanted to be doing something, because it's like, oh, hold on, wait a minute, my mornings is a little boring. You know what I'm saying? I need to be doing other things, because I do the inspirational thing in the morning. I do it a little later, like after I get from the gym. Because then after
the inspirational thing is when you go on the walks and do the is that on Instagram? What do you do that on? Facebook?
I do it on Facebook.
Okay.
For about 2 years now.
Yeah.
And so I'm up to almost 400 videos. Probably by the end of the year, I'm hoping that.
And you got a pretty popular following with that now, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of people, and then there's other people that share, right? And you should see how many inboxes I get, mostly from guys though, and they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess they don't want the ladies to know. Ladies, we don't care. We put our feelings right there. But guys put their feelings in my inbox and say, man, this really helped me. I'm glad you do this. I listen to you every morning, even though I might not like it or anything like that. I'm still listening and whatever. You know what I mean?
You know why they don't like it? Because you're saying like very truthful things, and because it's like I've listened to a couple of them, and it's like when you I remember my girlfriend, because my girlfriend will listen to you in the morning, and you were saying something about, and then she'll listen to you and then get mad at me because I'm doing something wrong that you think guys people are doing wrong on social media. You said something about like stop posting like every everything that like anything negative that happens to you on social media. Like you were talking about like that and she got mad at me because I posted about getting suspended from the Funny Bone on Facebook.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought it was funny, so it's like
it's different as a comedian.
I think it is different as a comedian because it's like you can post like stuff that happens to you negatively,
right?
As long as you have like a positive spin on it.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think it's true. I was really, when I said that, it was just so many people like I know too much of their business. Like seriously, like. Once you bring us in, you can't be taking us out. Now it's a soap opera. You told us about your man. Hey, where he at? Where's the pictures at? Oh, you ain't showing up. Oh, you ain't with him? Oh, we looking on somebody else's page. Now we see him with this other chick. So don't be bringing us into your personal business if you're not gonna share everything. I want to hear everything. I want to hear how he left you. I want to know all that because you already spilled the beans. Say it all, right? So why not just say anything? You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm with somebody and they're great. Don't even post their picture, their name, none of that. You ain't got to say none of that. Then everybody's all right. But once you start posting pictures, how happy y'all are, how the ring, and how your shoes going to look for the wedding, we in now, baby.
Yeah.
It's too late.
It's just almost like reality television in a sense.
Facts.
It's like you want to be entertained by their,
Yeah, because they already opened the door. See, like me, if you notice, like, I don't talk about personal stuff. And even though, like, the last girl I dated, she wanted me to put it on Facebook that we were, and I don't do that because that's not my style anyway. I don't want to tell everybody everything. If they see me with somebody and I show up at a comedy club or something cool, but I'm not gonna put that stuff on Facebook unless you my wife or whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is just dating. That ain't that nobody need to know.
Yeah.
What if you dating somebody else? I mean, date mean you're open. You might be dating a few people, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not messing up my flow for someone else because their feelings. Well, you should say that. Yes. Well, we're not together. We just dating. A date is a date. Right?
Yeah, but I think obviously when somebody asks you to do that, right? They're they're pretty much asking you to be exclusive.
Yeah.
You know
But
what I mean?
you need to say it though. I'm 51. Don't be playing me. I need to hear you say those words.
It's
I
like
can't assume that that's
we
what you
I
mean, right?
and I don't know. Since you started dating women, have you dated any women like exclusively, like where it's like
That's it.
now we don't see anybody
Anybody
else.
else?
It's
Yeah.
just you and me.
My first relationship with a woman, I we was together for like almost 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, our families knew each other. Like still to this day, our families are cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you know,
But you two aren't cool anymore.
well, she wants to be and stuff like that. She wanted, like, she had a child and she wanted me to be a part of her child's life. But I was like, her child has a father and all of this. I'll be cool when I see her and stuff like that, but I don't want to be a part of her upbringing and all of that. That's a bit
Right.
much.
Yeah.
You know, but she wanted all of that. You know, you can't get all of that. And then I dated it, like I usually do long term relationships. I don't do see when I'm dating somebody, you know, especially at this point, I'm dating to say, hey, this is for longevity. This ain't so I can just change you like a pair of drawers. You know what I mean? That's not it.
Yeah.
This is because I'm trying to build something. You know what I mean? I want something to work out and build, not just for fun. Because most of the people just want to try it. They're not really gay. They
But
just
yeah,
kinda wanna
but
try
there's
the
but there's a difference between dating and in a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, it's like and I feel like a lot of people don't know like the line and like.
Yeah.
Or it's like you just said, like somebody is whoever I don't know whoever the person was that asked you to be in a like let's have our picture together on Facebook, where it's like, well, we're just dating or we're not. It's
we're
not
not
like
exclusive.
So it's like because I am at the point where I'm exclusively dating someone. It's like now that I've been with somebody for like. You know, it's like but at one point, I definitely wouldn't have wanted our picture together on Facebook. It has to come organically. It can't.
Yeah.
It can't.
Don't tell you what to do. Hey, hold on, ain't no bosses now. This is like we're dating. It's like a partnership. We're going to get to know each other and everything like that. And if you start telling me what to do, you're already turning me off, and I'm already might be looking for something else to date. You know what I'm saying?
In fact, this whole conversation right here is really. But it was even so with me and my girlfriend now, because she posted a picture of us together, or made it like her profile pic, us together before I did.
Right.
And then it was like after a little while, that's when she thought she could take liberty to get mad at me for it was just my picture has always been like. Just me on stage at a comedy club, usually the most recent one.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I like that. I like that about my social media because
it's about you and what you're trying to do.
Exactly.
It ain't about the relationship thing. Hey, we already got that covered. You understand me? I understand you. We ain't gotta. You can put my picture on your page, but don't get mad if mine is not.
But at the same time, I've had past relationships. As so she has. I mean, she has a right to say that she wants a picture of us together up there at some point. But like I said, it's like it's got to come organically. It can't. You can't just be like.
Maybe you just say I'm in relationship. That's it. And with no pictures, just in relationship.
Yeah.
Boom. That's what you do. And then I satisfy her like, oh.
Well, no, that was the first thing to have to be done. That's always the first thing, and then it's like, and then comes pictures together. Then comes marriage, I guess. I don't know.
But what's crazy is, we as women, feel like, you're not telling anybody. Like, they wanted me to, be on their page and I'd be on their page. And I'm saying, look, I don't get down like that because I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know how it's going to be. And I don't like to rebuttal nothing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, what happened is, no, I don't want to explain nothing. I don't want to nothing, If you say we in a relationship, cool. I'm not single anymore. Boom. That's it. That's how I'm gonna leave it. Yep. I ain't gonna put no names because I take pictures. You see, my thing is pictures with a lot of women. You know what I mean? It could be any one of them. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Do you think though? I mean, you've never dated any comedians, have you?
Never.
Never.
I would never date any.
I had a couple flings with a couple comedians, but I'm not gonna. I won't get into all that.
Can't disclose.
But
yes.
You're
a gentleman. and a scholar.
Do you think the fact that comedians, the fact that we do date mainly people that aren't comedians, do you think they ever like want to be like in the spotlight of our comedy a little bit? You know, not the fact that we're on stage or anything like that.
Right.
They don't want to be on stage with us, but they want a little bit of the spotlight.
Oh yeah, like talking about, well, my girlfriend, blah blah blah, that type of thing.
Yeah.
I think sometimes they do when you mention certain conversations. Some do. There's some that don't want to even be bothered. They want to support you, but like, yo, don't mention me. Don't fucking point me out. None of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because they like, then all eyes are on me. That's that fame stuff. That's for you. That ain't for me. You know what I mean? There's a lot of women out there like that. But then there's other women that were like, yes, give me the accolades I need. I'm here with you. You don't need to hear that shit.
Yeah.
Come on. And my comedy is my comedy. That's like, am I going to your job telling you how to do this? You know what I mean? Don't tell me how to do my job. If I want to mention you, I'm going to mention you. If I don't want to mention you, I'm not going to mention you. That's what it is, right?
Right.
They shouldn't be like that, you know?
I agree with you. I don't know. I feel like when I'm married, I think my act might become a little more Dangerfield-esque, where it's like I'll talk about being married, but only to add to my own self-deprecation. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. Because Kareem does the same thing. Like, he'll say, you know, the only thing he says really about his wife is that, you know, she's a big girl or whatever like that. You know what I mean? And then he'll add the joke, you know, of his wife being a big girl. But that's it. She'll laugh and stuff and think it's funny because it's just his real life and he's just talking about it. So whether he puts her in his act or not, she's still gonna just support him, and she don't like, hey, put me in your act. You know what I mean? It's for his own self.
Well, it's weird because there's definitely a line where it's like you could be talking about, you could be making jokes that even could be seen as offensive about like the person you're in that relationship with.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Where it's like with Kareem, I've met his wife, and you know I've seen his act and he does talk about his wife, where it's like he does it in a way where it's like, it's to add to his own self-deprecation. It's not right. So, but some people will talk about their significant other just to be like vindictive or just to like get back at them, and that's where it's like where you've. Sometimes people go way over the line, and it's and it's always more often than not you'll see those people like breaking up like right after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know why someone would actually do that. I mean, there's so many other things to talk about in your life. Why would you, focus on those type of things? You know what I mean? I don't understand that. I've seen that too. A couple people. I'm like, damn. Then next time you're around, you're like, wait a minute, isn't that your boy? And she's with your boy now. Now that's funny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's wild. You know, relationships and comedy is something else, right?
Yeah.
How you feeling about the comedy game now?
It's different. The scene is so much different. Like, and it's a change. I've only been, I was a big part of the South Florida comedy scene there for a while.
Right.
And now that I'm back here, it's like there's a lot of people doing it. I have no idea who they are, and I don't know where they came from, and I don't know if they're good or not. Right. And it's like they don't know who I am. It's like. And then, but I also feel like, but you should know who, because I put in the work. Know. Yeah, you know what I mean?
And then, most of the comedians, like, it has changed. The game has changed tremendously because right now, what we're seeing is people who made like funny skits. We're seeing them on comedy stages when they really shouldn't be.
Yeah.
No hate or anything like that, but they're not real comedians. Like when you go to see them, they're corny. Like it's terrible. It's like you paying them all this money just because they got 100 or a million views or 10 million views.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Those type of dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like, or females. And you're like, what? Like this one female they had, I won't keep pressing her name, but she actually is funny, but she's funny like in like a hood roaster. Like someone who would roast the shit out of you, that type of thing. But she is not I said swear.
You can swear on it. You can say fuck, you can say shit. Piss, ass. No advertisers are gonna drop the 1000 Comics podcast
because that Elko contract. And like the one lady, right? She's good at roasting. Like she'll roast you on the spot, and you'll laugh because it's funny.
Right.
She'll just roast you from whatever, just off the top of the dome, and she's great. But when you put her on stage, see, this is what people don't understand. A comedian has real jokes. After you've done your crowd work, where's your jokes?
Right.
You need them. They don't have them. They don't have them. All of those people, they got a whole bunch of them. It's just way too many.
I don't know, but I feel like that's some comedian style. It's like, well, it's like all they do is work the whole room, and it's the whole entire act is crowd work.
It only lasts for so long though, because what if you don't have anything to go off of? What if after that it's dead? It's like, okay, you went off the crowd for the first 10 minutes, but you got 10 more minutes. What you gonna do?
They keep going into the crowd.
I know, and it keeps dying and dying. Now they're dying a slow death mostly. You know what I mean? If you ever watched it, a lot of them die a slow death because they don't have any jokes. If they had some jokes and crowd work, now that's cool. Now you're saying something. You know what I mean? Because you're bringing the people
no, I completely agree with you because the people that are the best at crowd work definitely have their own material. Like Godfrey, for instance, and I'm not talking about Gilbert Godfrey. I'm talking about
the black guy.
The black guy Godfrey. And he is like I've seen him live, and it's like he'll talk to every table like individually.
Yeah.
But then he also has his own material too. That's like really funny. Like where it's like, but that's the I mean, they're an audience member of the comedy show is never gonna remember like the shit that the crowd work person said to the other people. They're only gonna remember what they said to them how they got picked on specifically,
right,
and what the jokes were.
It's true, and a lot of times when you like me when I come into a room, I kind of have an idea what I'm going to say. I don't really know. I know the beginning and the end.
Right.
But when I get there, I can get a whole different energy, a different feel, especially if like a person went up in front of me. I see what they kind of laughed at, this, that, and the other, because I get a feel from them. And then I'll go there and I'll say, okay, now I got to do this, that, and the other, because this is going to get them. You know what I mean? And I'm already thinking. My mind is constantly working. I don't go there. That's why a lot of times when I go to comedy shows, some people would probably think I might not be as social. I say hello, but I keep it moving because I'm always thinking.
Yeah.
My mind is thinking so much that when you're talking to me, you kind of messing up that flow. Except the initial, hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm good, blah blah blah, and then I walk around and see what's going on, and then I'm getting my thoughts and process, because then right on the back.
Because you need to meditate, right?
Yeah.
You feel like you need to kind of be in a meditative state before you go on stage, but also you're also constantly reading the room.
Yes, so it's a constant thing. So a lot of times you see comedians, then other comedians there that know they're not going to do well, so they're trying to take you up your game so you won't do well either, which is crazy, but it's true. It's a lot of
it is true. Yeah,
there's a lot of them out there trying to take you out your game. You know what I mean?
I can't stand when a comedian has an attitude, especially people that have been doing it for like years, like has an attitude where they come in the room, it'll be like, this room is shit, like the show's gonna be shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, get off the show then. Like if you're gonna come in here with like a bad attitude, like nah, it's like I don't care like what you think of the audience, like your job is to entertain them.
And
you know what I mean?
I don't care if it's 5 people out there, or 500.
Yeah.
I'm going to give the people that has 5 in the room the same as I give the people with 500. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we're there to do. It's a job. You know what I'm saying? And if you love what you do, like I love this comedy thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I love the people. Like that we went to Moose's thing. Remember that those tables?
Yes.
All those tables came to my show.
Really?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
All of those tables came to my show. They asked Moose where I was going to be, and they came.
I think another problem with that is because we performed at a VFW, and it's an older crowd.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of comedians, especially comedians that are my age or younger than me, are like intimidated to perform for older people because they're afraid they're not going to like understand their material. But it's like older people will understand everything.
They have kids, grandkids, and you know what? They don't even understand. A lot of times, you bridge the gap. You know what I mean? Say if, I have a child your age. I don't understand this sucker for nothing. But you come up there and you say some things that kind of relate. I'm like, oh, okay. Now I get this joker. And you kind of help. And that's really what comedy does. It does really help other people relate to other people. Just like, a comedian I really admire is is what's it, Richard Pryor.
Right.
Because Richard Pryor was the first comedian to join two different audiences, an all-white audience and an all-black audience. He joined them and they sat next to each other and they listened to his material. And he talked about it, you know what I mean? And this made it like, you know, white people got to understand the black people got to understand the white people. And now you can't even go to a comedy show where it's, you know, it's always like there's going to be some sort of mix because people think that like white crowds don't want to hear like black material, urban material, which I hate. I hate when they say urban because what if you're from the city too and you're white? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's urban also. Is urban really just means city, but they made urban black, which is not cool. Like me, I can do any room. I don't care if they don't like black people. When I leave there, they're gonna say, I don't like black people, I like her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's my goal. To keep
Oh,
laughing.
you know, that is something that I've noticed where it's like black comedians will get typecast as urban comedians. It's like, well, what does that even mean? Urban comedian. Yeah.
That's crazy because Kareem does a show, right? In Bethlehem, Connecticut.
Right.
There's no real black people out there. He's like one of the only black families out there, right? And so when he does a show, it's packed always, 200 plus people, right? All white in the crowd, maybe a couple black, maybe two Spanish, but they came from Waterbury or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But they want to hear his comedy more than anything because, you know, what's his name? Brad Axelrod, he'll have a show, he only wants white comedians on his show, which is stupid. You know, funny is funny. It shouldn't go by color, man. It's just like a job or anything else. And that's where we start to separate things, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's so many comedians that I love, like George Carlin, one of my favorite dudes, like of all time. You know who the dude was inspired by? Richard Pryor.
Look, take a look at that down there. I got the whole George Carlin box set right there. Yeah.
You know, and so like I love Margaret Cho. You know, Bill Burr. It's a bunch of cats that I really like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what bothers me though? I feel like the a lot of the problems with the reason like black comedians and white comedians were still divided is like people are afraid to talk about race.
Right.
Like I don't understand. It's like somehow it's gotten to the point where it's like somehow talking about race has become racism. Where it's like
that's
like
stupid.
Well, it's like that's ridiculous because it only makes it actually only worsens things. All right, I'll give you an example, and it's an example of like right when I was at Dunkin' Donuts getting our coffees, and there's a father standing behind me in line with his son. It's a white guy, and it's his white son, and he must have been I don't know 7 years old,
right?
And there's a black guy behind the counter wearing a visor, and his fro is like big, like spilling over the visor.
Right.
And the kid is like asking his father, it's like, how does he get his hair to go through the hat? And like it's like I could like feel the tension. Yeah. Like the father's like trying to get the kid to shut up because he didn't
he can't even answer
like because he's like it's not even like that he can't. It's like. Well, he could just tell him the real answer is just like, well, the guy's got an afro and he shoves it through the hat. Like,
that's it.
Yeah, that's like.
He don't want to make it
but he doesn't. Racist. But he doesn't want he doesn't want like that racial I don't know racial tension moment where it's like you know what like the best thing to do is like I don't know fucking ask the guy like.
I know that's true. Yo.
But like instead like he's just trying to get the kid to be quiet. Right. Which is like that. I feel like that is where like racism comes from, right there.
It's true, and the whole thing is this: they always say don't talk about politics, religion, or race. That's why we're having the problems, and they're all starting.
Well, that's why America's so stupid because we can't talk about any of those things.
I want to talk about all of those things because you know what? Once we do, I can understand what you I could finally relate to maybe what you're saying, and maybe you could relate to what I'm saying, and you get to know something about me, and I get to know something about you, regardless if I agree or disagree, because we can agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying? But look how much you might have taught me, or look how much I might have taught you. You know what I'm saying? They make race so hard in this country, and it doesn't have to be. You know, there are some people that don't like you because of your skin color. Most of the time, it's fear. Fear fuels all of this. You know what I'm saying? Negativity or whatever, or hate. Why do you hate this person? Because they're black. They do this or whatever. And you're like, what? Are you kidding me? All the mass shootings in America have come from young white guys that have money in the suburbs. Like, if you go to now, I don't even want my kid. If I had a kid, I wouldn't even want him to go to school in the suburbs. I want his ass to go to school in the city because they got real metal detectors and people are getting checked. They don't want to treat their kids like that because you know what? They figure their kids are not animals. Maybe they are. I'm just saying though, for real, right?
Yeah, that actually, I don't know, that's a really good point right there.
Because it's true though, because like after all of these school shootings, not one person said, hey, let's put up some metal detectors. You know what I'm saying? Our kids are checked, there's metal detectors or whatever like that. You say what you might. But in a school that is called urban, with mostly inner city kids or what have you, yeah, there's not going to be a shooting. If it is, it's going to be one person shot. And it's the person they had a problem with. They are not shooting up the whole school.
You know what? The thing that if we're going to talk about school shootings, and we might as well.
Go ahead.
Because you open that can of worms. And you've noticed that with the school shootings, it's mainly white people that are doing the school shootings.
Yes.
Right. And I think the reason, as a teacher, I think it's because as a teacher, and it's as a teacher that's taught in schools that are predominantly black, predominantly white.
Right.
And I think the reasons you don't see it in the predominantly black schools is because of the fact that white schools will overdiagnose children with everything. And it's bringing back to what you said about labels.
Yep.
Every white kid is labeled with something, and it doesn't matter if there's nothing wrong with them at all. But if they're doing something wrong, they will get like a label. You know what I mean? It's like it's like kids are labeled as autistic when they're not really autistic. Just because they're defiant doesn't mean they're autistic.
Nope.
And then these defiant kids that aren't autistic are being, diagnosed as autistic, and then that's when they go crazy and then end up coming back. Where it's like you go to these black schools and none of these kids are diagnosed with anything. Nope. They're all misbehaving.
Yeah, they're all
in the same way.
Yeah, they're animals. So
well, I wouldn't say they're.
Yeah, I know, what I'm saying, but they're categorized as animals because it's like, okay, let's give them metal detectors. But these other kids, they have a problem. No, what about this dude? He might have had a problem too. Maybe his family, he's not eating, and maybe that's why he looked like that, or maybe that's why he wearing the same clothes for 2 weeks in a row, what have you. Yeah. This kid got everything in the whole wide world. He's upset, not really at school. He's more upset at his parents because they're not paying attention to him. He got issues he want to talk about, but they too busy in their lives making money and all of this and giving the kid everything he wants. Right. Just the first one, Columbine, right?
Right.
Those kids were rich. They were rich. One kid came to school in an Acura. Acura is like a grown man's car.
Yeah.
Right?
Well.
And they know how to shoot.
The thing is, though, the schools with more money, or the white schools, are the ones that are getting worse. Because 20 years ago, these schools had music programs, they had art programs, they had all these great programs that embrace culture and embrace like a child's creativity. Now they don't, because the art teachers and music teachers and all these people are losing their jobs. Right. Because now Timmy can't learn art because Timmy has autism now because suddenly, I don't know. There's all these kids, and I've seen it.
Feel sorry for them,
and I've seen it myself. I've seen so many kids that are labeled with something, whether it be autism or Asperger's or ADHD, whatever it is, and it's like how is it I don't understand how these kids can be labeled this when it's like the majority of the kids now, and they all need this one-on-one help. So now they're paying teachers. The government is spending money to have grown, adults be with these children one-on-one all day instead of being able to pay that art teacher or being able to pay that music teacher. You know what I mean?
Teachers are the most underpaid. Let me tell you something. Teachers are the most underpaid and unappreciated. You know, I see these people fighting. I would have never fought. If I would have ever raised my hand to hit or my leg to kick a teacher, oh, my mother, I wouldn't even be here. My mother would have already.
Did you see that one guy that was in the news most recently? I think he was a music teacher, and this kid is like calling him the N word a few times. He throws a basketball at him, and then you just see you can see it in the video. You just see the guy snap. Like you just see him like it's like you just like you could tell like that guy just saw red and just starts beating the hell out of this kid.
Did. I mean, I don't like the fact that he beat the kid, but at the same time, and this is so factual, the parents, there's so many young parents out here. There's no big mama like back in the day, you know, your great grandmother would say, hey, you can't be doing that or whatever like that, and then everybody did that. Nowadays, the parent will come, if you hit their kid, you will have to fight them too and all of this stuff. What about your kid hitting on a teacher and the teacher didn't do anything? You still want to fight the teacher? What about the child? At home, something's not right.
Right.
When your child can disrespect another adult. We never would say anything crazy. Like I seen a girl punch a teacher in the face, and the teacher was still like, "Why would you do something like that?" Me, I'm not gonna lie. I probably been like that other dude, and she would have thought I was Layla Ali. I would have uppercutted her. I would have did so many moves. I would have got a boxing contract. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying though, you know, it's funny but not funny because it's sad that we're in this state right now where people can disrespect, you know, especially teachers. I really have a problem with that. I'm not a teacher or anything, but there's so many teachers that inspire me to be who I am. You know what I mean? And
well, it's gotten to the point where the system is set up so the kids can say whatever they want to adults.
You can't. I know they can't.
And there's no repercussions for it.
There's no discipline or nothing. I'm not saying.
Especially with the labels. It's like, oh, that kid said that because he's got this.
Yeah, all right. So you know I'm autistic for 20 minutes.
You know what I mean?
So let me start bashing his head in, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. For 20 minutes, you know what I mean? But I'm saying those are the things that's really sad. You know what? We're like handicapping, the next generation. We're making them lazy. We're making them because they don't want to learn languages. All of this stuff, you know, and it's just the same thing like in comedy. Like these guys not going through the same thing everybody else did. Yeah, things have changed, you know, and you really can't say who can be better and how long it's going to take. They used to say it's 10 years. That's not true. Some people have a natural ability, and once they learn something, they can kill it, and they can be one of the best comedians out here. You can't say that.
Right.
But you still have to go through certain little things when you first start.
Right.
You know what I mean? To get better. You know, hosting helps you to get better on stage, your better stage presence, and put your jokes together. And also you can throw out jokes and see if you can use them later on so you can get paid for it. But, you know, some of these new comedians, like, they're terrible. There's a lot of them. You know what I mean? It's more terrible comedians a lot of times than there is good ones. So a lot of times, if you notice, the promoter will go out of state and find out-of-state comedians because they don't have enough good ones in the area. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, Connecticut, we do have a lot of good comedians. But we have a lot of terrible ones, too. A lot of bad ones that don't even try. You know what I mean? But somebody else keeps giving them accolades. If you ask me, I'm going to be real with you. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat your performance. Just like I don't want anybody to sugarcoat mine. I'm not going to sugarcoat it because, you know what? I want our comedy culture to grow.
Yeah,
right?
I think the most poisonous thing to like a comedian and especially like comedians in like our stage of like doing this,
right,
is like when we get if you get complimented for the wrong reason, like complimented just because you did the job, not because you did a good job. You know what I mean?
Like I never complimented. Like if a comedian did terrible, I'm not one to, if they're looking bad or sad or whatever like that, I'm the one to say, you know what, hey, there's always next time. Just learn from the mistakes that you had and next time do this, that, and the other. Some tips.
Maybe even give them advice about what they did wrong. Right. You know what I mean?
Right, and a few tips, and that's it.
If you go up to them and say, like, great job.
If you come up and you thought you did a great job and you was horrible, I'm looking at you like, are you kidding me? You should be the guy giving the light.
I think we're
all set.
We're actually at that time.
Well, that was cool.
Yeah,
it was
it
a
was
good
fun.
conversation, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we gotta do this again.
Yeah, I think so.
I had so much fun with you, Heath, man.
Yeah, thank you for being on the show.
No doubt. Missed you, man. Glad you came back.